Welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina show. I've got a lot of different things going on. And so I've got Bill Boone, who's coming up. He's a storyteller. Stick around to find out what he's got to share with us and what that means. And then I'm going to also bring to you my first responder of the month. And I'm not going to tell you because I want you to watch it. And then also I'm going to talk about a program that one of my dearest and best friends and we did a little bit of it a few years ago, and now we're coming back, and we're coming back with the force. No, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's for teens, so stick around. Folks, you're watching Down Home with Tina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm a recovering addict. For 10 of the last 11 years, I've been struggling with addiction, homelessness, incarceration, and just loneliness. However, since getting clean, this past year I've accomplished more than I have in those 10 years combined. After attending outpatient counseling services, inpatient counseling services, living in a sober living house, and attending 12-step meetings, I've been able to regain control of my life and begin to achieve goals I've always dreamed of. Addiction can destroy lives in many ways. Whether you need help with childcare or financial assistance, everyone deserves a new beginning. Recovery supports are just that, supports for recovery. My life mattered. Your life matters too.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. The fella I've got with me right now, when I ask, because I always want to make sure that I get the correct title, and I know his name's Bill Boone, of course, but I was like, what's your title? He goes, storyteller. And I go, I love it, because that's exactly what you are, because of the different things that you do. They all tell a story. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Is that why you just went with that?
Absolutely.
I think it's the coolest thing. So why, Bill, why do you call yourself a storyteller? Where did it all begin?
It started way back when, but it was in the job. That's what I do. We carve monuments for people, but realistically, I'm just a storyteller. And my job is to listen to our customers, and if they choose, they tell us the story of their life. Mm-hmm. And our job is to carve that story in stone so it lasts forever. So I think that's cool.
So what is it exactly is the name of your business, so that way folks know what you're talking about?
In Lancaster, it's Dannison Monumental Works, mm-hmm. and Logan and a few other towns, it's Logan Monument Company.
Okay, so you sit with folks to find out the story, to bring together the perfect monument for their family member that's laid to rest, or friend.
Right.
What are some of the most, I guess I should ask, interesting or fun or moving monuments that you have done?
Oh, there's a lot. Notable, I guess we did one for Bob Evans and his family down on the Ohio River, and it was absolutely wonderful, and worked with the family, and it is, unusual ones. We've won several national design awards, mm-hmm. And the most recent we did, I set one in Austin, Texas.
Wow.
And it was a family that I did not know initially. I met them through the World's Strongest Man contest.
Which we have a story that goes with that led you to that.
And worked with them, and I said, well, I can arrange to get someone, to install this. They said, no, we want you to install it. And so they flew me out to Austin, and I met some people out there, some friends out there, and
So do you personally create these monuments?
Primarily, I'm the designer.
Okay.
I do put my hands on it in some cases, but I've got a wonderful team of employees that are quite talented.
And the reason I ask you that is because this is what led me to approach you, because you have been doing stone carving yourself.
Right. It's a hobby. People said I didn't think through the hobby very well, because the older I get, the stones don't get any lighter.
Amen to that.
But I do have lots of equipment that, to help move and pick up and turn and move these stones.
So before we do talk about all of that, can you talk about the strongman that you had mentioned? What was the ties to that? What
Steve
was
Slater.
that? Great guy. Oh my goodness.
Came to me and with Rogue Fitness, and they said, Bill, there's this famous lifting stone in Iceland, and it's called the Husafell stone, and we want to make it part of our contest, and we can't bring it here because it's a national treasure. Can you carve it? And I'm like, you want me to carve a rock into a rock? Yeah. I said, sure. And they went over there and took 3D pictures and made a styrofoam mold, an exact size styrofoam mold.
Steve did?
Steve did not travel. Rogue Fitness did.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. But
And-
leave it to them because they are just so creative and just such doers and getter-doners that
Right.
I'm not the least bit surprised that they were able to do that.
So we
Love
were
it.
discussing what kind of stone to use.
Yeah.
And I've got a whole handful of different granites to use, and they said, oh, it has to weigh 309 pounds. And I said, oh.
Great.
And I'm trying to do math and figure out, because all stones weigh differently. And I said, the easiest thing to use is, what was it made from? Oh, we've got people over there, and we'll send you a stone.
Of the same stuff that it was
In the
made
same
that-
field from where this stone came from. And I said, well, if you're going to do that, I don't know what it's like. It may have cracks. You better send me 2.
Yes.
And they said, we'll send you 3 because we want you to do 2. And they air freighted
Hi.
3 boulders.
And what was the total weights of these? Because they wanted it to be 300 pounds.
Yeah,
or
it
some, but
started considerably more.
Right.
And I had 2 months, which was to do this, and I had to figure out something that I didn't initially know how to do, and kind of trained myself on the fly and used a sculpting tool and where I could pinpoint on the styrofoam model and take that over and match that same point, and this is where it needs to be, only it needs to be 2 inches deeper.
Do you enjoy challenges such as that?
Absolutely.
It seems
That's
like
what
it.
I love about the job is no 2 days are alike.
Wow, I bet not. Because everybody's got a different story and you've always got different things
Right.
to do. So what was the outcome? I mean, it was a good outcome, right?
It was a wonderful outcome. 2 of the stones were too small to use. And so I could only make 1. The second one we made similar to, but it was not exact replica, but they needed 1 for the guys to warm up on. It worked out well. It was in, I guess it's 2 years now, at the World's Strongest Man at the Arnold Fest.
Yeah.
And I got to meet the winner. My only request was I'd like to meet the guys from Iceland who have lifted it to see if it was comparable or what they thought.
Yeah.
And this was the gentleman, Halfthor
Yeah,
is his
it
first
sounds
name,
good, yep.
and from
I
the
recognize
Game of
that.
Thrones, and he's also called the Mountain. And I have a picture, and he's a big guy. He's a really big guy.
I saw the picture of you, between the two, and
I'm
it's just-
standing up next to him, and he's got his arm on my shoulder, and there's a 3-inch gap between the top of my shoulder and his underarm.
But it was great because you were like, I am in there.
Yes.
Of course you are. We can see you. But it's just, and that's what they do. That's just what they want to be.
Oh,
and they want to
they're
that-
just massive, and he's just a
awesome.
gentle soul. He's very, very nice. His wife comes up to my shoulder. And so she's very petite and fit, and is a CrossFit
Yeah.
champion in her own right. And it was
Cool.
really interesting. And I
Did
get
you-
to meet so many different people, so
I was
many
gonna say-
wonderful people. Everybody has neat stories.
Did you ever imagine in a million years that was something when you started your career that you would get to experience?
Oh, never. It just, you open up the door and
That's
say,
it.
today's a great day.
Yep.
They're all good.
Yep.
Some are better than the others, but they're all great.
Amen. That's right. I agree.
And you just never know.
We never know what we're going to get, but we got to certainly do our best to make the best of that day.
Absolutely.
And find the best in it. Yeah. So, okay. So you decided was this after this or during this, about the stone carving that you got into doing?
Way before that, I found a box of chisels that were over 100 years old in the company that no one knew how to use. And I went around, what are these for? Oh, well, we don't use that anymore. I said, why not? Well, someone else can do it. And so I started playing around, and I went to the Franklin Park Conservatory and saw a really neat display of Chipungu art from Africa. And I saw that they had artists in residence, and I did a complete 180, and I called up the office and I said, I'm not coming home next week, or I won't be to work next week. And that's where I kind of started.
You started
and
doing
spent a
it.
week with them.
I cannot believe it's over. We've got just a couple of minutes left, Bill, I think we could probably talk for hours. But what we really wanted to discuss too is that with the stone carving, you have got an upcoming festival, the Washboard Fest, that you are now participating in as on the board of directors.
Correct.
And you're going to have some of the stones that you have carved there.
No.
No?
What we're going to do is, this is similar to what we did I went to Norway 2 years ago for a stone carving festival. And had a ball. I decided to bring it to here and hook up with the Washington Festival, or with the Washboard Festival. And so I'm inviting 3 other sculptors, one from New Mexico, one from California and West Virginia, and the 4 of us are going to start on each in an individual piece of limestone and carve it for 2 days.
So you're doing it there.
So we're doing it there.
Nice.
So people can watch us and talk to us, and at the end of the 2 days, we're going to auction it off.
So it's a no, but you are doing it there for people to see, and then they'll get to purchase it and auction off those at the end. I love that. And the dates for the Washboard Fest for folks, it is downtown Logan. They got a lot of different things going on. When you're doing yours every day, where's the spot of it or located?
It's the 18th and the 19th, is that correct?
Yeah, 17th, 18th, and 19th.
So the 18th and 19th will be carving right next to our business, right downtown on Main Street.
Okay.
And we'll be out there for everybody to see.
Awesome. And anybody who has any questions for you, because they're interested in anything that you said and they want to see your work and have you do something for them, for maybe a monument, what's your contact info?
The easiest way is Logan Monument Company.
Perfect. Bill, I know it was so way fast, but when you've got stories to tell, it can be never ending,
Very
right?
much.
That's right.
That's right.
Bill, thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you.
and for being here. Folks, check them out. You're watching Downtown with Tina. I'll be back in just a minute.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
We were retiring from Tucson, Arizona, and we made a retirement trip out around Ohio, having decided that's where we wanted to be. And we came across this town called Lancaster, and we fell in love with the downtown area, where the fountain is, and the memorials, and the flags, and all this stuff. And we looked around, and I said, there's our bank, right there.
There's something to be said about a community bank in your hometown.
Right. If you live in the community, you should do business in the community as much as possible. So it makes sense to bank with the community bank where you live.
Fairfield Federal is the bank to be at. If you live in this town, or any town actually, you want to bank at a local home bank. The employees are happy here, they're conversant, customer service is through the roof. There's nothing more you could ask for.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I have with me somebody for the very first time, I know it took me long enough, from the Fairfield County Sheriff's Department. He is newly promoted, now Sergeant TJ Strawn, and he and I are going to talk about some pretty cool things because I think that self-defense is something that's really important, especially for the women out there, guys as well, so maybe you can learn something also. But he's going to talk with us about self-defense. But before we get to that, I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
On your newer promotion. You said just a couple of weeks ago, right?
2 weeks ago today.
Yay,
yep, so
very exciting.
It's a transition. I'm learning.
It is. Well, and when you do take on another position, of course, there's going to be a higher status, or in this case, sergeant.
It's
almost different.
It's like a management job sometimes too. It's almost kind of like learning a whole new job.
Yeah.
So it's, whereas you just go out, you're handling the calls and dealing with the public, which I still am, but now you're managing just operations of the department and everything from approving time off to making sure you have adequate staffing, and it's just a different type of work, but I'll get used to it.
That's
we'll get through it.
You will, absolutely, because I know you said you don't plan on going anywhere for a while.
No,
right?
I got a little bit of time before I can retire,
Yeah,
so
you're young.
I'll stick it out for a while.
That's right. Well, good for you. When I was recommended to have you as my first responder of the month, I failed to mention that. He is my first responder of the month here on the show. I was told that you know a little bit about a lot of different things at the Sheriff's Department.
Well,
You think
that's
so?
good. Yeah, no, I guess. So I've always been kind of like a utility, I guess, person around our department. Get pulled a lot of different directions, do a lot of different things. I've always kind of taken pride in learning things to teach the public, to get back to my community more than just, being out in a cruiser and handling calls. And,
Absolutely.
It's.
Did you start out as wanting to be a deputy sheriff?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. As a kid, you hear a lot of kids, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a fireman. But graduating high school, I didn't really know yet what I wanted to do. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I kind of got lucky, and I kind of fell into this job. And somebody had mentioned the sheriff's office was hiring, and I had applied. And down the road, here's the letter. It says fill out this background form, and it was just a process. And then 22 years later, here I am.
What's it like? You've always enjoyed being a part of the sheriff department?
I love this job. I love the line of work. Just for one, it's different. It's not an everyday job. Whereas I look at my father, for instance, that worked in a factory for his adult life, and
that's my dad.
And I applaud. He had a job. But I thought that's not something.
Hard labor, hard work.
It is.
I mean, it is just something that you go. And I don't know about your dad, but my dad used to be like, "That's not what you want to do. You don't want to do that."
And I was kind of I thought I just didn't want to do the same.
But Dad. But he's like, "No, when you're mowing the grass and you're out there and it's 100 degrees and you're mowing the grass, think of that 10 times hotter in the steel factory I'm working in." And I'm going, "Oh yeah, I don't think I want to," but I have a respect for that.
It is. And it's a different. Every time I come to work, I put a uniform on. You just don't know what's going to happen in the day, and that's what makes it exciting. Of course, there are some bad days where the job's not as pleasurable, but for the most part, it's enjoyable. It's fun to go out and do different things every day. I'm not doing the same thing every single day.
Right, you're not that repetitive kind of.
Nope, and I enjoy. I just enjoy the mixture of going to work, and it's like, what's going to happen today, and it's not a strenuous job, but mentally it can sometimes get to you a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure.
For the most part, I love what I do, and I've never regretted getting into this field of work. So
continuing to hopefully continue to go up in the ranks, aren't you?
I'm gonna try. Yep. Well, let me. I'm getting my feet wet now.
Let's do this one first.
Maybe a few 3 years from now, I can try again. And it's a transition. It's just guys have asked me, "How's it going? How's it going?" I'm learning. I'm still getting there.
When you've done something for more than 20 years, then
and it is. And so one of my main assignments, I'm really assigned to our jail division, and I haven't worked in our jail. I transferred out of there in like June of '99 when I went. Wow. I started out working in the jail as a deputy, and then I went to the patrol division. So it's been 20 plus years. It's like learning a whole new job.
Is it?
It really is.
But you're so far. You seem like you're open-minded. You like to learn new things. So.
I do, and that's what I want to learn. What I'm doing. A lot of the guys I work with, they're like, "Oh, you got to go back to the jail. I'm looking forward to it. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Now, I don't know, maybe in 6 months from now, I'll think, what in the world did I do? But no, I want to keep learning. I want to learn the entire aspect of my department, the whole operation of it.
Yeah, well, you're going to teach us some things, so I'm going to learn some things today, and hopefully some of my viewers. I wanted to talk about self-defense, and one of the things that we had mentioned, I thought it was a great segue, even Josh was included in the conversation, and he had said, into the self-defense, because it's being safe, and some of the things that you're going to share with us about.
Yeah. So we haven't in the last year or so because of COVID, but we would about every 2 or 3 months we get requests from anything from churches to businesses wanting us to come in and talk about just self-defense. And it's not a lot of the stuff we go in to teach. It's not. We do some hands-on things. Talk about how to get out of different holds, or we're not there to make you some ninja expert or anything, but just give you the common sense knowledge that and give you a mindset that if you are attacked or somebody comes after you, that you can fight through it and you can get away from it. And one of the deputies I do it with, she's a smaller female, and she's great to work with. She's feisty, and it proves to some of these women, they see some of this, where grown men get on top of her and attack her, and she wins the fight.
Because she knows what to do.
She knows what to do.
Part of it is just she's real feisty.
She's feisty. She knows what. I mean, obviously, being a police officer,
if you're going to defend yourself,
she has the mentality to, if you give up, and it's the same with the police officer. I can speak for any cop. We've all been in them ground fights with a suspect on the side of the highway or whatever.
Yeah.
If you give up, you may not go home. So that's a lot of and we try to get, when we teach these classes, it's not just women. We do have some men that come to them, but to have that mentality that there's no such thing in a fair fight when it comes to survival.
Absolutely.
So you do what you need to do to go home and get out of there safely.
Some may disagree with me, but I remember when my kids were young and we lived in a ranch home, and I just said, not to put fear in them, but I was just like, if anybody ever comes in the house that you don't know, you scream and yell. Because if you don't, even if no matter what that person says to you, if you do not scream and yell, I may never see you again.
Yep, it's a whole...
And then it's don't listen to whatever, you do what you got to do. You make as much noise as you absolutely need to do. And they would just kind of look at me, and not scare them, but I was just kind of like, you just yell.
Yeah, a lot of it is women are a victim of opportunity. So a lot of your perpetrators or your bad guys that want to attack you, they want to go unnoticed. Mm-hmm. So that's why we tell you to make noise, scream and yell, because they don't want people to see what they're doing when they're attacking. So a lot of times just that in itself will get them to veer away from you and go leave you alone.
Sergeant Strawn, this is something that I have done it, and I've done it more than once. Maybe in the grocery store, I'm doing my own thing or whatever, and if I kind of go up in the line, I like to be aware of my surroundings, especially if I'm by myself and it's at night. But if I feel uncomfortable, rather, I see somebody kind of looking at me a couple of different times. If I feel uncomfortable, I go with my gut feeling, and I have not a problem asking somebody to walk me out to my car.
Absolutely. So,
I'll
grocery
just say,
stores, whatever.
I feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Will you please have somebody walk me out to my car when I take my groceries out? I'm not afraid to do that, and I have done it.
And I've always been the type, and even in this line of work that I'm in, I go with your gut instinct. Mm-hmm. It's a God-given instinct, in my opinion, he's given you.
Yes.
If it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right.
Yep.
So, and I know that has saved my life more than once in this job. So
Wow.
don't be afraid to ask somebody to walk you out. Or we talk about like personal space. I don't have a problem with saying, and you can say it respectfully, but hey, do you mind stepping back? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you got to protect yourself and worry about yourself.
Yeah. I know what we're talking about. We're talking about running and earbuds. So one thing I've always done when I run is I always have one earbud out on one side, because I like to run but I don't just go running anywhere either by myself at all.
If you are going to go and run, we always teach the women to take 2 or 3 or more, or however many. Even so many times on the bike trail, I like to ride my bike around on people are out jogging, or even when I do run, music kind of gets you through it. It's nice to kind of jam out while you're. It gets you through your workout and you power through it. Or how many times I went to pass somebody that's slower, and I'll just kind of yell at them, "Hey, I'm passing on your left," or whatever, and it startles them, because they have no idea. So I always tell them, run with one of the earbuds out, or even anymore, your iPhones or whatever phone you have, it's got the speakers on them. They're completely clueless with those, and somebody comes up behind you,
and you just know right there that's
You want to stay ahead of your person that's going to attack you, and it's tough.
So you guys offer classes from time to time, because we got like a minute.
We do. So we're going to start picking the classes back up a little bit with COVID restrictions starting to loosen. And if it's something you want to request or you want us to do, all you have to do is contact the sheriff's office, and they'll patch it through to the right person.
Nice.
We'd be more than happy to go do it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, First Responder of the Month is brought to you by Bay Food Market, and so also some goodies. So I just decided to do, everybody probably has a mug, but every time, if you drink coffee or tea, thankful, because we're thankful to have you as one of our sergeants on the Fairfield County
Thank you.
Sheriff's Department. And I put different teas in there. Some's for energy if you need energy, and
Always
some's
need
for
energy.
digestive health.
Okay.
I don't know why, but also Ava Jewelers. There's a certificate in there. Also, another little place that you can grab some coffee and my chocolate chip cookies.
Awesome.
Thank you so
All
much for
right.
what you do, Sergeant
Thank you
Strawn.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Folks, I'm going to be right back with something that me and Karla Perretta are doing here in the community for teens. You're watching Down Home with Tina.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Welcome back, and Down Home with Tina is brought to you by those wonderful sponsors that you just saw there. I have got Karla Perretta with me. Karla and I started a program. I know we don't have a whole lot of time to talk about it today, so we're just going to kind of give a really quick review of kind of what we did. Karla, oh my goodness. So my quote goes along with this today, and I'm not going to tell my quote until the end of this segment, but to inspire.
To inspire, it pretty much says everything right there. This program is really, we're going to be working with teens. We're going to use art, music. Our goal is to educate, facilitate, create space for these kids to really find out who they are, what they want to be, get ownership in it, take affirmation, and hopefully be inspired. I want to inspire them. You want to inspire them. We want them to inspire the community and themselves all along the way. So I'm pretty excited.
I remember when we did that a couple of years ago, a few years ago maybe now, with younger kids, and we walked away and we were like, what joy we felt in our hearts, and it is so awesome.
It was crazy to see some of the transformations. It's amazing.
Yes,
it's amazing.
And that, so we're just hoping and praying that if you do have a teen out there, or between the ages of what we're going to go with 12 to 15?
About 12 to 15
12 to
is
15.
what we're looking for.
And we're going to have more to come and share with you on the Down Home with Tina show, and Facebook, social media outlets, and things like that. And we'll get a Facebook page. We have our To Inspire Facebook page.
Yeah, we do.
I'm like sitting here thinking, yeah, we do, and we can stay up on that. So we ask folks to follow it. If you got a teenager who on Tuesday evenings you want them to have something to do, they can come over between those ages. Though we're asking those ages because we don't want to mix two,
and it's
older
from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yep, and we're going to be doing some really fun and exciting things. You don't have to do anything but show up. You don't have to tell us in advance or anything like that. And do we want to share any little things? We're just going to talk and hang out and do activities and have fun and discuss things.
We're going to explore all kinds of amazing things, tastes, art, everything all the things that can inspire a person to find out a little bit more about who they are and what they want to become.
And just chat and have fun. I think that's what the most important thing is just time and interact and just spend time together and learn how to collaborate, work together, be a team, things like that. I don't know. All I know is that when we got the news and everything was confirmed, I stood in my living room and have you ever had that overwhelming feeling?
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool because you feel like, and it's just like in our own stories, like where we were to where we are now, and just being able to just continue and facilitate that and grow. Yes. It's pretty amazing. It's a great opportunity.
And it ended up not happening for a little while, and we're back to where we wanted it to initially be.
Right.
And here we are. And it's like a dream for me. I don't know. What about you?
It's something I've always wanted to do. It's not something I thought I was going to do. And then I everything just kind of went in that vein.
Yeah, and
so
I mean,
it's kind of exciting.
Anything you want to say before I take over for my PQ?
I think you just go. I think we're going to launch this about mid-June.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
I just said that. Was it June? The second week of June. Did I say June 8th? Yeah, it's June 8th because I think June 1st was on a Tuesday, and it's the second Tuesday in June.
Yep.
That's exactly when it's going to be.
Perfect.
And it's going to begin from that time every Tuesday.
Yep.
Connection West
Connection
is
West.
where we're working, so I'm excited about that. Folks, before I go, I want to go ahead and share with you my PQ. Karla, thanks again for being
You're
with me
welcome.
and all of the awesome things that we can get to share with you all. In the meantime, my PQ is this. I saw this today and I thought this is exactly the perfect thing I wanted to let everybody know. Never underestimate the power of one simple prayer, because you never know where it's going to take you, but I guarantee it's going to get you where you need to be. God bless and have a great week. It's Down Home with Tina.